Today is the Lion's Gate. Note the cat ears, the gold. So we've got a lot of Leo energy going on, and I'm trying to go with it, the extraness, whatever. Here I am. I wanted to do a video about kind of what I've been reading about the Lion's Gate. I will admit I'm not the most well versed on it. I can lead you guys in the right direction to a couple people who have a lot of stuff going on, a couple hypnosis videos, those kind of things. But here's kind of what I found, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Technically, this Lionsgate thing has been going on since July 26th, and it continues all the way to August 12th. But today, it's at its peak. It's a numerological thing, and it's also an astrological thing. So numerology-wise, of course, it's the 8th day of the 8th month. So that's the 8-8 power there. 8 is like, it's shedding your layers and your toxic things. It's owning your personal authority. It's kind of a self-discovery, a personal power, those kind of themes with that 8 number. But when you add the astrology side of this today, a lot of the Lionsgate thing is not so much about its Leo season, it's Sirius. And this goes back to the Egyptian days. So the history that I found on this is Sirius lies right in Orion's belt, or right close to it. On 8-8, on this day, Orion's belt actually lines up with the pyramids of Giza, and it lines up with Sirius, this fixed star, and that one actually goes over the Great Pyramid, actually, and they're all lined up together. And in Egyptian mythology, Orion kind of went back to their god Osiris, and Sirius was their goddess Isis, and they were said to be the creators of the universe. So when these things align, obviously it's a very big deal to them, and they worshipped the rising of Sirius because it would actually flood the Nile and bring all that good silt and all that mineral stuff into their soil, and they would have good crops, and it would bring fertility, prosperity, those kind of things. So this was actually a celebrated day to them. So technically Sirius, I believe they said the sun crosses in Cancer. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm not completely on it. But anyway, it's blocked by the sun. Sirius is blocked by the sun whenever it first passes. So on this day, it's actually, the sun has moved past, and Sirius has a direct path to hit Earth and to put its energy on here, and it's super amplified with all this stuff. So they say the Leo light is for our spiritual bodies, the sun, the nourishment, those kind of things that we know about, vitamin D. But Sirius is the spiritual sun. And that's why it's in Cancer now, I remember. So it's very in tune with our spiritual being, our secondary abilities that aren't like the ones we know of, the sight, see, or the sight, smell, touch, those kind of things. It's about the extrasensory abilities, like information downloads, being able to see visitors from the past. Those things are all supposed to be heavier in this time, and especially today. But everything I've read is almost glowingly positive. Of course, they say that the chakras, especially the heart chakra, if you're into that kind of thing, is overloaded today. So some wounds may come up that need to be addressed, and those can make us have fear-based reactions, or others, or anger type of thing. So we kind of have to watch that. And this was the crazy thing to me. It can give you flu-like symptoms because of this overloading of energy. And when I was looking on my Facebook memories today, 3 years in a row, I posted about having a summer cold on this day and just feeling like absolute crap. And now looking back, I can connect and go, oh, okay, this is what was going on. But when I was talking about the good things, I mean, it's talking about being good for love, your psychic abilities, being able to see visions, just the clairsentience, the just knowing, information downloads, creativity. It's supposed to bring in a feeling of peace and freedom, and it's good for manifestation. Manifestation is super amplified at this time. So, Leo energy is supposed to be kind of glowingly positive in the first place. And one big thing that I've been learning is your mindset is a huge part of where you go in life and what you manifest and blah, blah, blah. So if you really sit and meditate or focus hard today on what you really want, and it's positive, you're going to get it, you're going to do it, this is a good time that might actually come through, because it is the Lion's Gate, it's a portal. So Sirius is also heaven in the Egyptian mythology. So literally they say that there's this gateway open between our physical world and out there. So anything that you're thinking today or putting out into the world is amplified because that gate is open. There's no barriers there. So try to be positive. Try to be working on what you want and attaining that. Which is funny because Sirius is also associated with advanced technology. So people who are like me are trying to get further with a social networking thing or stuff like that. This is a good time to start those things. Blogs, videos, those kind of things. It's about your personal power, and that seemed to be something that was really repeated over and over again whenever I kept reading. It's about knowing who you are. It's gonna help you to recognize your gifts and then own them. Stand in that power. I will say I've had a few experiences throughout this opening of this Lionsgate portal where everything just felt aligned. It was like confirmation. What you were doing is where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. So it's just like clarity, and it's try to pay attention to those moments where things just feel like it lined up right and what you did to get there, and be grateful in the moment and try to remember that for after the Lionsgate, because things recognized and started, they say at the end of this on August 13th, that's like day one. So whatever you've done during this period really fully begins at the end of it. It's also kind of amplified. We have a pretty good transit going on with this Lionsgate. We have Venus, which is also in Leo, where the sun is, where this Lionsgate thing is kind of happening. Trine Jupiter in Sagittarius. Those are both fiery, passionate signs. Jupiter is actually at home in Sagittarius. The sun is at home in Leo, so there's that extra energy there. And right now Jupiter is retrograde, and the reason why I bring that up is because, like I always say, people think retrograde and think backwards, but it's really more internal. So with this important Lionsgate of recognizing your personal powers and your gifts, and knowing who you are, and getting all this information, this clarity that you've been seeking, all of that, and this manifestation, it's a fortunate time for that, and that all goes on internal with that Jupiter retrograde. It's the internal growth. And then the Venus in Leo is really big about self-love, which is kind of why I did all the extra stuff today, because it's about embracing you and be you can stand out. You can be the brightest candle in the room if you want to. Just don't put anyone else's candle out. It's about accepting who you are, loving who you are, and recognizing your strengths and owning that shit. I mean, it's the big cat energy. You're the lion. You're the king of the jungle, or queen, or whatever you want to identify as today. That's you, and you gotta really own that. And the more glowingly positive and assured you are with it, the harder that is gonna come through on the other side of this portal. So like I always say at the end of my videos, I extra mean it today. Take care of yourselves and each other.